Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. We've got, well, another topic about government and guns and things like that. That seems like it's going to be a running theme here, which is cool, I hope. I hope you guys like it. I don't know. Actually, maybe this will be the first one released in the series, and you'll think it's the first, and you won't know about the other ones that I've recorded yet, because I've been recording these like crazy over the past few days. There's a lot of stuff going on in regards to this information here. But I want to go over something that's going to kind of be maybe a little bit less talked about than most of the other major topics in regards to this subject that you may have been hearing about if you're listening and watching and researching and such. So, first of all, this is a rush gameplay, so hope you enjoyed that. This went super quick. I mean, a 10-minute, under 10-minute actually rush gameplay, just barely under 10 minutes. Pretty crazy, so watch that and listen up. There is a bill, I guess, or bill being proposed. It's called H.R. 748. And for those of you that haven't heard of this, because I think it's fairly new, or it may have been tried to be put in before, I'm not really quite sure, but it just came back up again, and it's kind of didn't really make the major topics that people are talking about, but it is something that is pretty kind of scary, and it definitely relates to pretty much probably just about all of us here that are watching these videos, or I know at least to me and the majority of the audience is what I'm trying to say here. I'm going to just read a little summary of what this is supposed to be about. Now, I've been researching it, and it looks like there's other stuff that's included in this, and some things say that this is in it, some things say that this isn't, so I can't really get a clear answer on this yet, but I will leave you a link to where I'm reading this from in the description below if you want to check that out and get that information for yourself. Oh, headshot, did you see that? Anyways, okay, so listen up. It says, H.R. 748, to require all persons in the United States between the ages of 18 and 25 to perform national service, either as a member of the uniformed services or as a civilian service in a federal, state, or local government program, or with a community-based agency or community-based entity to authorize the induction of persons in the uniformed services during wartime to meet and strength requirements of the Uniformed Services to provide for the registration of women under the Military Selective Service Act and for other purposes. What the heck does all that mean? I know most of you probably got 18 to 25 and national service out of that, right? Alright, let's kind of break this down and talk about this. Again, it's not 100% clear as to what exactly this is yet. And even after breaking it down, it's kind of unclear, and there's not a lot of talk about it, so it is still kind of unclear. But from the sounds of that, 18 to 25 required, mandatory, to perform service within these federal or local, community, or state, government programs. That, to me, off the bat, just, kind of sounds like a draft, maybe, something like that. So again, let's break it down. H.R. 748, to require all persons in the United States between the ages of 18 to 25. So every single person between 18 and 25 years old is required, to require all persons in the United States to perform national service. Now, what exactly is national service? It goes on to continue to say, either as a member of the uniformed services, that would mean the military, I believe, the branches of the military, because they're uniform usually is what that means. Or it could be, or as a civilian in a federal, state, or local government program. That pretty much means, I believe, like policemen and things like that, law enforcement. I believe. Again, I did some research and I'm trying to figure out exactly what all this is, but for what I get out of it, that's what I'm kind of getting out of it. Look at this kill right here real quick. Just watch this. I'm lighting, that's all you can see is that guy, and every single shot was not showing up as a hit, which really pissed me off. Basically, it was 14% health, which means I got 2 shots in him out of 4 or 5 that I fired there. That really made me angry. But anyways, back to the bill. I'm getting a little distracted here. Back to the bill. Yeah, so basically it's saying you're required to perform services either as in the military or in the law enforcement of your local state government. What is that? I mean, from what you hear, the military is overflowing with people and they're cutting down and making people leave, right? I mean, that's what I hear when I research. So what does this mean? And first of all, let's go to the top. Let's just say, what do you think about this? If you're are you in that range of 18 to 25 years old? And if you are, what do you think about this? I mean, do you think? I mean, I know my grandparents lived through a draft, and a couple of them didn't have to go in because they had some history with health problems and kind of just tried to avoid it by doing such, and it just worked to their advantage. And you know, there's tons of people that did that, and people that fled, and all that stuff. And I mean, how do you do that? And what are the consequences? And you know, what would you do in that situation if you are in that age group, or even if you're not in that age group? What do you think you would do if something like that were to happen? Now again, I'm reading this bill from my opinion of what I'm seeing, and this is how I'm interpreting it from the research that I've done. And I may give you a few other links from other research if I can, but I will at least give you the one that I'm reading here so you can reread exactly what I just read out loud to you, and where I got this from. So, yeah, based on this interpretation, whether or not this bill even is interpreted as that or not, I thought this was an interesting topic. I mean, talk about just a draft, if that were to happen, and what you would do. Personally, I'm really not sure what I would do. Just reading this and thinking about that, like I said, it made me think, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any health issues or health problems currently that would justify me not being able to be drafted based on the previous draft rules and regulations from in the past when we had that. But I mean, I'm not really sure what I would try and pull, or if I would just voluntarily go or not. And to be honest with you, if you really think about it, most of the kids in that age range these days are just like probably not. They don't really respect authority, and I don't really know how you'd round those people up without super like ridiculous consequences for not coming and obeying what they're trying to do here, and make them listen to you and do what you want them to do. So I don't know, like, you know, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I've gone over this in some of on my other channel about how kids these days are just so disrespectful, and they just don't have any respect for authority, including their parents. I mean, your parents give you so much. They literally provide for you from when you're born and you're helpless and you can't provide for yourself, all the way up till when you are trying to provide for yourself and move out. Or even there's some people that aren't even trying to do that, and they're just bumming off their parents for more years and years, and their parents most of the time don't really complain about it like they should. I mean, they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to support you and raise you and give you the stuff that you need to grow up and be a healthy adult that contributes to society, and yet we don't really express that kind of thankfulness towards them. And if we do, it's rare, and it's usually if some kind of tragedy took place where we come to realize really all that your parents have blessed you with. You know what I'm saying? And again, there's different circumstances of where it's not applicable because, you know, you have single parents or things like that. It's different. Obviously, it's not the same for everybody across the board. But even so, with something like that, you should even be that much more thankful, because that's even more tough, having just one person raise you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have other siblings. But I'm way off topic here. Again, yeah, leave in the comments what you think about some kind of a draft, if that were to happen, if you think it would even happen, and if it were, just leave if it were, what you would do. And don't be like, oh man, screw that, I would go like shoot up the government or building, yeah man, I took them all on. Like, it's ridiculous. You're not gonna be realistic with it. And I mean, yeah, I guess some people are still gonna be funny and humorous about it, but whatever. Right here, watch the gameplay for a second though. A little tip. You can run through this when you time it right, because you won't die as the MCOMs are being moved back. See how it went away? So you can get a little bit of a head start there, and that's kind of what we were doing most of this gameplay for Rush. So that's just a little tip for the Battlefield gameplay and gaming. It's a little tip. You could get really a big head start if you do that. Just be careful, because obviously you can't see your screen well, and you're in enemy territory where they're all spawning and stuff. So you just want to pay attention and make sure that you're able to see who's there, but you really put some pressure and surprise on them if you can rush in like that and get a few of you guys to do that, so keep that in mind. Next up though, again, back to the topic, so leave that in the comments, and tell me what you think about this bill, if you can interpret it any differently and things like that, and all that stuff, and whether or not, I mean, I think the majority of us gamers, anyway, first-person shooter gamers, support the Second Amendment and right to own guns and stuff. And this kind of doesn't really go along with that, but it sort of does, because, you know, there's just so many attacks on different types of freedom these days, and people don't realize it. It's masked underneath other bills and laws and things, and they look like something harmless, but really, when all these little things that seem pretty harmless get put together, they build a massive machine of like destruction that can you're just screwed. If all those pieces can get put into place, and they all are there at one time, no matter how long it takes for them all to get there, you could have a huge issue. So this is also one of those things that just like, why would they want this, and what's the motivation behind it? So leave in the comments what you guys think about that. Thanks for watching the gameplay. I was 13-7 there. Pretty decent, I guess. Almost a 2 kill KDR. But end of game, there it is. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe and all that stuff. Please share it too. That really helps me out because it's kind of hard to get views these days. Just saying. But let me know if you liked it, and I'll see you next time.